2.
Hey you guys, Desmond here,
And LaCresha.
and welcome back to the channel.
Woo!
And today we are here to discuss two episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race US, honey. What is this, episode 11 and 12? We're getting towards the end there, honey. Getting there towards the end.
But you know what? I have a little less drag race fatigue this time.
I think the year is still young. And plus, you're winding down on the school. So I think that's what really is helping with the fatigue. Because for those who don't know, LaCresha has been in school full time while doing a full time job and covering Drag Race full time.
Yes.
So there was periods where the fatigue was real.
Yes.
But now, luckily, she's almost done. She'll be graduating in May. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop. So
May 4th live stream.
Yes, we will be there, and I'll post some pictures. Let the world see you. But yeah, so I think that's what it is. Your school schedule has gone down a little bit, so now it's not so much on the Drag Race schedule. Because I've been feeling that too, even because I'm still keeping up with Belgique, and Rita, me and you in the parking lot, like right now. But we're not here to talk about Belgique, okay? Just know. Just know. But anyway. So, before we get started, just want to remind everyone to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We have a goal to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we would love to reach it by July or sooner, I'll be happy with it being reached in April, May, tomorrow. I will not disagree with any of those days.
We would have to gain
470?
Yeah. 72? Yeah. 76.
72.
72 subscribers.
Yeah. I can see it.
We just got to have that one viral moment. That's all.
Oh, but yeah, what did you think about the Power episode and their drag seminar episodes in general?
They were both really good episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the narrative was really good.
I've been saying this a lot about season 16. Season 16 has been a really good season.
It really has. Like, I've really enjoyed this season.
It really makes me wonder. I'm like, has it been the acting challenges all along that be making the season? Because we ain't had no acting challenge because this was shot during the writer's strike last year, so there was no acting challenge. So it's just like, is that what was making the seasons?
I think it was just the oversaturation of the writing and the acting challenges, because there was like a whole season of, what was it, like España or France, where every single challenge was an acting challenge.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was something along that line. But yeah, it's been quite refreshing. Although I do wish we still had one. I understand, it's the writer's strike. So
right.
There's nothing they could do. But I'm glad that we got to see more design challenges and we're seeing more improv. So I'm like, okay, and we're getting more performance challenges because usually we just get the one. And this year we got a second one, and most likely they still got the big remix that they're going to do at the end of the season. So it's just like, so it's good to see some more balance on the challenges that we have. But yeah, both episodes really good. I have a few theories about the first episode because to me the math doesn't make sense, and we'll talk about it. So let's go ahead and get into these. If we're going a little fast, our apologies. Last week was extremely busy for both of us, so we're going to get through these as fast as we can. Oh, it might help if I do this instead. Boom, there we go. All right, so we start off after the elimination of Plasma. We come into.
Were you like gooped and gagged about that?
About what?
Plasma being gone.
No, she lost the lip sync.
Facts.
She lost that lip sync. So the queens come in, they read the message, and they congratulate Maya for an amazing lip sync. And she was doing all the flipping and whipping and dipping in a gown, which is not easy.
Nope.
and she was tearing it up. They sit down,
Mm-hmm.
they congratulated Q on winning the design challenge. And then Maya and Morphine had a little here.
Right.
And who knew the next episode it would lead to them lip syncing, which the producers probably knew.
That part.
They were like, how can we capitalize this? Honestly, they could have capitalized it this episode, but then they
Mm,
would have done Saphira dirty. And I'm like, no,
yeah.
no need to be doing Saphira dirty. But it was a cute little moment here. I love how Morphine was like, oh, if I had the lip sync, I would have pulled out some scissors and I would have cut this dress off. And Maya's like, right here, you still was going to go home whether it's cut or not. I'm like, I'm just saying, Maya completely devoured that lip sync. I don't think anybody next to her would have won. It could have been
Right.
Saphira, and Saphira would have went home on that
Mm-hmm.
because she just really took over that song, and it
She
was
showed
amazing.
her whole self on that
Like
one.
that is one of my favorite lip syncs of the year so far. Just so good. So we're moving on. It's the next day in the workroom. Q. Why'd I take a screenshot of Q? Oh, I have it right here in my notes. Q and Dawn have both admitted to having dreams about their sisters.
Mm.
Which, it makes sense. Them are the only people you've been around at this point for, 12
For at
weeks.
least several days, if not weeks.
Yeah, we're like 10 episodes in, so they've really been there like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But, on TV it's been 12 weeks. Or however many
Mm-hmm.
weeks. But yeah. It tends to happen. It tends to happen. But I thought it was funny, the conversation that her and Dawn had. So the message goes off. RuPaul comes in this amazing suit. Can we give it up for the suit real quick?
Yeah.
I love this suit. This was everything Mr. RuPaul. Okay? So,
Monsieur RuPaul.
RuPaul announces that this week's Maxi Challenge, they will be writing a verse to the inspirational anthem Power, which is encouraging all people to go out and vote, to get
Yes,
registered.
please do this.
Please do. I know a lot of people don't want to. I know I don't want to, but I'm going to go on that ballot, honey. Now, I
All
don't know
right.
whose name I'm
So,
going to check
but
just yet, but
if we
I'm going
didn't
in there.
learn anything from 2016, is because we were like, oh, Biden got this. Or who's running against him then?
Hillary.
Hillary. We're like, oh, Hillary got this. We good.
I went to
And
bed
nobody
early.
went
That's how confident I was. I'm like, I'm not even staying up. I'm going to bed. I woke
right,
up and turned on the TV and I saw his face. I'm like, y'all really let this man win?
right. And I'm like, oh no, this is bad. This is real bad.
But yeah,
Like,
honey,
I cried. So if we haven't learned anything from 2016, please, I know that what we have is not the best,
it
and
really
we
is.
really need to get in there
And I'm one
and
of
put
those
an
who just
age
truly feel
cap.
like we're screwed either way, honestly.
Exactly.
And we
But
live
I'd
in a
rather be
red state,
screwed.
so I feel like no matter what I vote, the vote is still going to go red.
Ugh.
Ugh.
But see, it was that thinking that made it go red in the first place.
Hey, listen, there was a second during the last election where we almost went blue. I was like, wait, is Texas going to go blue for the first time?
Oh, and we tried so hard. So
It's the
hard.
smaller towns. Like the bigger cities are blue. It's the smaller towns and they take over the
Exactly. And
power.
it's the little podunk towns. And the
Like the
funny
town I'm
thing,
in. When I
hmm,
looked it up and saw that red dot, I'm like, makes sense.
right. And the thing is, you got the big cities, but what holds a lot of weight are the little towns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think it would be the opposite, but like, you could sit there and look at Minnesota or some of those other towns, and like, you have whole counties that are like bright red, but then you look at the population, and the population's only got like 400 or 500, couple thousand people in it. You're like, but then you see this big old expanse of land, and it's like, because those are farming towns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what they own is all of that red. There might be only 4 or 5 thousand people there, but that's all their land. So if you think about it that way, you break it down that way, like we got a high condensed section of people in the cities, but the country's got wide expanses of land, and that land makes a difference
Mm-hmm.
in whether we go blue or whether we go red. So I understand it's bad either way. And if there was a way that we could just go green and call it a day, you know, it's like it's sad to see a certain green candidate just be like, you know what, I give up. But at the same time, he kind of needed to. Because, yeah, okay, I get it. It's great. 50, 60 some odd years ago, you stood with MLK. And that's great. But that was 60 years ago.
And I think
Whatever
that's our
ideas,
biggest problem. We have people in the offices, and that's across the state
the
level and
board.
the federal level and the government level. They are making decisions that are not going to affect them.
Exactly. They're making antiquated decisions.
And how do I word this correctly? I do feel like there should be an age limit if for holding office.
Yeah. I mean, there's an age limit for when you can run because the youngest you can run for president is
It's
35.
35, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So if the youngest age you can run is 35, then there should be a max limit. There's a reason
Honestly, I
why
feel like they should bump that lower. I
they
think
should.
30. I think 30 is a better age to drop that down to. But yes, everybody, if you're not registered, go get registered. No matter how you vote, that is one of our constitutional rights. We're one of the
Okay?
few countries that can
And
do it.
the think about it like this. What is the best way I can get the younger generation to figure this out? Think about the government like they're your parents and you are in your rebellious teen era, right? If your parents sit here and make all the decisions for you and you don't like it, what do? You protest, you rebel. The moment they give you a choice, what do? You run amok. Okay, fine. But if you sit here and they're like, okay, your choices are this or this, you're going to do what you want to do, and that's the choice you're going to make. Why are you going to sit here and sit back and allow your parents to make all of your choices for you? Don't do that. Respect them, sure. As far as parents, as far as government is concerned, yes, please respect everybody. But don't let people take your choices away. You don't like it when people take your choices away? So then go out there and vote because that is your
And
choice.
here's the biggest thing: a lot of our issues are state level, so you need to be going
Right.
out and voting for your senators, voting for your
Yes.
governors. That's
Yes.
what's directly going to affect you. Yeah, the president. Yeah, he's the big head, but what's going to affect us everyday Americans the most are our senators, our governors. The,
Yes. Our county officers
oh, your mayor.
are
Like,
okay.
make sure you're voting in every election, not just the big presidential one.
Exactly. Because it all boils down to the electoral college. Because yeah, you could have the people's vote, but the electoral college is where the difference is made, and that's supposed to be the checks and balances, but it's never been an actual balance. They're gonna vote how they want to vote. I don't care if my city wanted me to go blue. I'm gonna go red because that's what I want to do. No, you got to put the right people in there
But yes, make
and
sure all that is set
stop
up and good to go.
letting people who aren't qualified somehow con their way into offices just to get kicked out 2 years later.
But back
There's
to
a reason why certain things have certain time limits. if every 2 years somebody gets to be voted out, vote for them 2 years. Vote every 2 years. There's a 2 year, there's a 4 year, there's a 6 year. Vote every single time.
That is correct. So
Back
RuPaul.
to the episode
Oh
at
yeah, back
hand.
to the episode. Yes. But the queens start writing their lyrics. They sit down with Leland and Freddie Scott to record their lyrics. They do choreography with Jamal Sims. And I just let me say something about Q. Po Baby ain't got no rhythm.
Look,
But
you know what's
what I want to
funny?
say about her is she tries.
She has tenacity.
Yeah, because some queens will be like, "Oh, I can't dance," and they just go out there and do whatever. Q was like, "I can't dance, but I'm gonna go out here and give it the best I got." So I gotta give her some props there. Cause was
Look,
it rough?
you to
Yes.
me looks like somebody put a bunch of like metal pieces together with some ball bearings,
Mm.
and it just a squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I just wanted to give Q some props because she tries. And to me that's like the best thing to do when you go on a show or any type of competition. It may not be your cup of tea, honey, but go out there and give it your best. Don't go in there saying, "Oh, I
Exactly.
can't do this." Got the Kendall. And then you flop. Now did she flop? Yeah. But she was trying her hardest, okay?
Right. I
And
mean,
that
at
and
the
that
end of the
gets
day,
some
just
points
go
for
out
me.
there
That gets some
and
points for
have
me to see
fun.
you trying, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But them vocals, I'm like, girl, you do not have that now piece of funk or soul in your tone. Please stop.
Or
Please.
were they able to sing? Period. That was the question for me.
That's my question. I'm like, you can hear Q trying to add the soul and the funk to her voice. Sing normally. I need to see if you really can sing.
Right. Because you're like, yeah, I have a musical theater background. Do you though? Theater background is one thing. Musical theater background is something completely different. Because and I sincerely doubt you have a musical theater background because most musical theater background people, you gotta dance too.
And
And
see,
if
I
you
have that
can't
background,
dance,
and then of course I have my church choir background, which is a whole nother type of
ex-
training you get
exactly.
there.
But if you have a musical theater background, you should be the triple threat. You should act, sing, and dance. But you can't dance. Apparently, you can't sing. I haven't seen you act yet.
The musical, she was acting in that musical.
Okay.
She did good in that
Was there
musical.
singing in that musical, or did they lip sync that?
No, they were saved. That I think they might have been even high because Q didn't really have much choreography, but she sold it with the presence and the character that she had.
Right. There was no dancing. She walked around with a big old long loofah hanging
Mm-hmm.
off. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But she wasn't singing in that.
So let's
So
get
she can act a little bit. She can't dance.
so let's get to this main stage, and I don't know what Zaldi did here in the U.S. because the U.K. We'll talk about them, but the looks for these 2 weeks, my God.
Hmm.
Mike, I love them. Oh, I love this. Like this first one here. I love this so much. I don't think we've ever seen this much skin from RuPaul.
At all. I was looking, I was like, dang, that's a lot of
And I was looking, I'm like,
in
that's
there.
skin. That's not the tight or mesh. That's skin. I'm like,
Hmm.
Ru. Okay, Ru, what did you think of this? Oh, baby, the thunder rolls and the lightning strikes, honey. Um,
What's raining out there with you?
hard.
Oh, it must be coming this way then.
But what did you think of this amazing look?
Oh, I love the look. I'm not quite sure on the hair,
I
but
love
other than that,
I love every piece of this. The hair, the big hoop earrings, that unnecessarily huge flower in the head, like
that is bigger than her head.
it all works for me. It all works for
Mm.
me. Like I love this. This week we're joined by Michelle Visage, Ross Matthews, and Jamal Sims. So let's get
Mm.
into the power. Up first,
Power.
we had Dawn.
Dawn was there.
I don't want to be funny
That
about
person.
it, but Dawn really she could. I liked her verse,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual performance, they were talking about Q.
Mm.
They need to start talking about Dawn too. Yeah, what did you think of Dawn's performance here?
I think Dawn is just kind of like background noise right now.
I feel like I feel like if Dawn was on a different season,
Mm-hmm.
she would be like slaying these girls. But because
Mm-hmm.
she's on a season where there's so much talent, like that's one thing I really like this season as well. There's so much talent here. You can literally be like, oh, any one of these people could win.
Mm-hmm.
Usually we start watching a season like, oh, there's the winner. Oh, there's the
Right.
winner. There's legit like four people who could possibly win this season.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm biased against one of them, but I wouldn't be mad if the other three won. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like this is probably the wrong time, wrong season for Don. I feel like any other
There are too
season,
many hard hitters in her season.
yeah, there's a lot of hard hitters. That's the word I was looking for. That is the exact word I'm looking for. There's a lot of hard hitters in her season, and I like Don. It's just the perform. This performance wasn't her strongest.
No.
Up next is Maya Iman LePage, 8.
Yes. The house down
Like
boots.
we knew she was.
Yeah.
We knew she
Even with,
was.
the rhyming issue, which they didn't even mention.
Yeah, the first half of the verse, I was really like, I wish somebody would have made her change equal rhyming with equal, because even when they're like, oh, just say equal differently the second time, she really didn't.
She didn't.
And I'm like, it's just like that is the only thing, and I think that's what stopped her from being in the top two, was that one moment, because everything else she ate this week.
And then when we got on here, we were like, well, what rhyme with equal? Sequel?
That was me, and she was like, sequel, and I'm like, yes, my drag race themed mind went straight to sequel.
Sequel. But it would also equal. But then all it would have took was like one word change, and she could have put sequel in there,
I felt
and it
like it
would
could have worked.
work. But oh well, she
Up,
still ate.
up next is Morphine Love Dion. I do not like this outfit,
I don't either.
but
I'm so glad you said it.
everything else was such an amazing. The performance, I think she had my favorite. No, my second favorite verse,
But
because
I have an issue.
I
I'm
love the
a,
way her verse had that bounce, 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 bounce to it. The wig was
mhm.
flying. It was all great for me. What did you think of Morphine?
um. I agree. I did not like the outfit, but other than that, the performance was great. I have a question though.
So
I'm assuming this is the wig that broke. This had to have been the wig that broke because this wig would have went a lot better with the outfit she wore this
next week,
week.
yeah, it could have been. It could have
So
been.
I'm assuming this is the one that broke because baby, it still gave Dolly Parton, but at least it would have been big hair.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
You didn't hear it? Okay. I imagine. I think my microphone picked it up because I saw Spike when the thunder hit.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Well, the thunder didn't hit, the lightning hit. Okay, so up next is Nymphia Wynn. Her verse, terrible.
Terrible.
But the
Her performance though.
performance,
She sold it, baby.
I'm like, I feel bad for playing. I'm like, playing, you really wasted that because she didn't need it.
Huh.
Yeah, the verse was terrible. But the
Right.
performance was so good, I'm like, okay, I can forgive the verse.
Right.
She
You
did.
you have to think because Nymphia be playing people
Well, she didn't play
and
about
she's
that verse.
really
That verse was still bad.
That was the only thing, was the verse was bad, and she was like, I don't have my ghostwriter, and I was like, well, thank you for admitting it
Well, you
on
know,
national
Megami
television.
and them were talking about it on, Twitter when the girl group dropped. So yeah, but this is the first time they mentioned it on the show that Megami
Exactly.
wrote her verse. But yet
Exactly.
nobody was hollering for Nymphia to go home.
Exactly though.
I'm just saying, I just find it funny that, they were okay when Megami helped Nymphia, but when Saphira helped Maya last week, it was a big old
Right.
deal. Huh.
Uh,
Huh.
uh.
But yeah, Nymphia, you ate this up. The verse, I wish somebody would have helped you.
Okay.
But them queens are like, no. If you fall, you fall.
Right.
And that would be me, because I'll be like, don't let me be sitting there listening to her verse. I'm like, is this really her verse? This can't be. That this can't be. Like, my thing is, like, I'm assuming, if you're on the show, you've at least watched a few seasons.
Right.
Take a reference from a previous Drag Race verse and kind of play
Hmm.
off of that. Like, you really don't have to
Right.
do much for these Drag Race verses. Just throw in, make sure you go vote,
Right.
somewhere in there. You can still talk about how fabulous you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because my initial thought was, if I had to write a verse for this song Power, it would
Mm-hmm.
be just, me going off talking about how fabulous I am, how
Mm-hmm.
amazing I am. And then at the end, I'll be like, stop. Go vote. Like, I would want the music to stop and I want the camera to focus right in me. Go vote. And yeah, you thought
Register.
you thought I was just up here living the best life. Stop. Come, bring him. Go vote. But yes, Nymphia, you did a great
Look
job, honey.
around the whole room, go vote.
Just hold it up. Go vote. So up next is Plain Jane. Now, see,
She
here's the opposite with Nymphia. I loved Plain's verse,
right.
but her performance,
Ooh, she struggled.
baby, you
They
could
were
have.
like, we see the little chinks on the chain. I was like, I saw a little chink in the chain too.
She was going, and I'm like, oh sis, luckily you still have that potion because you gonna need it today. Before we found out what they did, but I'm like, oh,
Right.
you gonna need that today. You gonna need
Mm.
it because the verse was everything, but the actual performance, it's a no for me. Did you see Saphira said that in the episode? I I was like, it was in the next episode. She said, I was like, she said it's a no for me, dog. I'm glad we're referencing the same person because I don't. Because for those who don't know, that's a reference to Randy Jackson from his time on American Idol. But that's something
Right.
I've been saying from the jump on this channel. So when I heard her say it, I'm like, I love
Oh,
it. I love it. I love it.
relevant. Yay.
Oh, but yeah, it's a no for me, dog. Here, it really is. What did you think of Plain's performance here?
Um, like I agree. The the verse was everything, but it was like she looks uncomfortable.
She did look uncomfortable dancing it, and I'm like, I've
It might have been the style of dance, though.
maybe, maybe
But
because just because you can ballroom dance doesn't mean you can get down, get down.
I don't know.
Because you were supposed to bring the funk, and
Right?
sometimes the ballroom doesn't translate to funk.
No.
So let's move on to Q. I'm gonna let you go first on Miss Q here. What did you think of her performance?
Is that what you want to call that?
Listen, I said this earlier. She goes out there. She gives it her all. It may not be good, but she gives it her all. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, ooh, she going for it. Ooh, she is going for it. Did she get there? No.
But she really did think she was doing something.
Listen, I hope I'm that level of delusional whenever I compete on a competition show. I need that level of confidence going
That
into
level of the
anything.
Lulu.
So I give her applause for that. But yeah, this was.
She gets the applause, applause. She gets the applause, applause.
Oh my gosh, she would be Nisha in the lip sync going. I can see Q doing that. Oh,
No, not the Keith Habersberger.
shout out to Nisha Lopez, honey. But yeah, she tried. She tried. And
She
then
tried.
the mother of all mothers who ever mothered and mothered again, Safira. What did you think of this performance?
I'm not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Yes, I'm old as shit, and if you don't know what that's referencing, you're too young to watch this.
I'm gonna say I caught the reference. You know, I'm not as experienced as you are, but I
I
did.
have a hand gesture for you.
You know, not all of us was born in the 50s, but
I was not born in the 50s, and it's not a movie from the 50s, it's a movie from the 90s.
I know it is. But you would have been nice prime age to remember that. To remember that reference.
I was 7.
27.
7. I was 27 in the 2000s.
She was 40 something in the 2000s.
I just turned 40.
She just turned 60.
If I was 60, I look real good for
Yeah,
60.
you look real good for 60, honey.
Can't stand you.
But yeah, Saphira, you did amazing. Hands down. Top tier performance. Rain down on me because it is raining hard as hell out there. Um, so they did an amazing job. And the category is True Colors. So, Roxy St. James, what would she do with True Colors? What color would she pick? And how would she present that color to the world?
You know, it would have been like pink. Which is so weird considering my favorite color is blue, but I would have wanted my skin to glow. And blue wouldn't have made my skin glow. It would have washed me out. So I'd have been up there and I'm going to dress for the stage, and it would have been something like almost kind of what Maya did, you know, with a little bit more body confidence, and I would have cinched. But and because I was thinking about it, and I was like, I know he's gonna ask me this question, and I was like, yeah, I was like, if my body was a little bit better, it would have been like a whole just nude moment with some pinks and rose golds, just uh just anything just to make my skin glow. And I'd have got up there with my pageant hair and I would have just walked. Now, I did think if I was going to have a second one, because I liked parts of Q's. I know we're not on Q, so I guess I'll just wait until we get there.
For me, my first instinct was orange because orange is my favorite color and orange does look great on me. But knowing me, I probably would have brought a lot of orange to begin with. So I'm like, for
Mm-hmm.
this, I think I would have tried to do something different. Maybe something along the lavender or like the seafoam green.
Mm-hmm.
That will look really good on me. Maybe even yellow. Maybe even yellow.
You'd have been competing.
Huh? Oh,
I
oh
said
yeah,
you'd have been
we're gonna talk
competing.
about Miss Nymphia because I think she missed a great opportunity, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
I'm gonna fall.
So, because we have two episodes we have to cover, we're just gonna go through, just give our real quick general comments about everybody's look, give our grade system because people are really enjoying the grade system, and then so we're gonna. So, up first we have Maya Iman LePage. This is
Rucker.
this was amazing. I give this an A minus.
Yes, I agree. Definitely. There it goes. Oh, yes, definitely an A minus.
Up next is Nymphia Win. I give
Oh,
this a solid like B. I thought this
okay.
was cute. This was campy. It was just kind of predictable.
Right.
And
That
I
she
feel
would go the
like,
Chiquita banana route.
but here's the thing. This is where I think I think Trixie said this on the pit stop where I was like, oh my god, this would have been perfect if she would have came out as green bananas and
Mm,
chose the color green, where it's still her brand, but she's also given a little something different.
right.
Because we've seen the bananas now. Granted, she has been serving diversity in her looks. Like she's always given us something. But like
Right.
every yellow look we've seen has been banana themed, and I think that's where, like, if this was just a sickening yellow, whatever, without the bananas, I think it would have been better. But we've seen quite a bit of the banana from her. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think this would have been great if she would have hit us with the green bananas. But like I said, solid
Right.
B. What do you give it?
Um, personally, probably like a C plus B, B minus,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there. Mostly because, like you said, we've seen the bananas. It was very predictable that she would go the Chiquita banana route. She tried to switch it up and be like, "Oh no, this is an homage to what is that baby's name? It's right there,
Josephine.
Josephine Baker." I had the J like right there, and I was like, "Not Jacqueline, yeah, Josephine Baker." And that's not remotely close to Josephine Baker, other than the fact that you got like a layer of banana right there. Um, but yeah,
Up next, we have Plain Jane. I thought this was stunning. This gets a B plus from me.
yes, I agree.
Up next, we have Saphira Cristal. When I tell you I love this with every ounce in me, this is like a A plus 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 plus.
If there was a way you could give more than 100, this was 105 with extra credit.
115 is the highest I ever got on anything. So 115 is what she got right here. This has probably been my favorite look of the season so far.
105 has been the highest grade I've given this year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because of extra credit.
So great, so great. Got several screenshots of it. Up next is Dawn. This gets a C minus from me.
Mm.
I like it.
If now it would have started out as a B, but the grade dropped when I realized one, she had the same type of pants on in the challenge, and then when she wore something very similar in the next episode, I got annoyed. So it kind of dropped down to like a C for me.
Up next, we have Q. I really like the hat.
I like the hat, and the person who originated the hat, I've seen them with this hat on TikTok. I would have tried to emulate the walk. I know you ain't got a waist, Q, but I would have made me a waist because the person who makes these hats, he ain't got a waist. However, he be dropping that waist when he walks, and I'm just like, oh no, I would have tried. I would have tried my damnedest to drop my hips and walk that walk like that, and they'd have been like, oh my god, that's different and new, and then you would have won something, baby.
Not this week. But the hat alone saves this.
Whole outfit, because that shirt, those tassels should have been at the bottom. You could have used that to cover the top and then continue that down to the bottom.
So the hat gives it a C.
The hat gives it a D plus.
Up next is Morphine Love Dion giving us this purple fantasy. I really like this.
Purple Vanity.
This was a B
Oh
plus
yeah.
for me.
I, there's something about that shiny stuff at the top, and I don't know if that's the material she used underneath, the bralette type situation she got going on to make it look like she had boobs. I don't know. That top part kind of bothered me, but other than that, oh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's why I bumped it to B plus because yeah, that bothers me as well.
Yeah, I agree. B plus.
So we have our amazing queens here. Who had your favorite look this week?
And why was it Saphira?
And why was it Sophia Christel? Because she really ate them up. And then what I love is we'll see it in the lip sync later. It's a reveal.
Right,
And even if she would have walked out in that, I still would have gagged without the skirt.
right.
But we find out this week is a non-elimination episode.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my theory. Because my next screenshot here is the potion. RuPaul's
Right.
like, you have to use it now or you're going to lose it. So she
Mm-hmm.
uses it to save Nymphia win. And Nymphia accepts it. So come to find out, they have to accept the potion too. So you can try to play strategic and give it to somebody in the top. But they could be like, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought if you said you have to take this, it was like, no, that person got to take it regardless. But they were like, Nymphia, do you want to accept it? And she's like, yes. If I was Nymphia, I would have accepted it too.
Uh-huh. Especially if I'd have thought I did so bad.
But yeah, I think Plain should have cooked it and used it herself.
Mm.
But yeah, after the critiques, we found out that this was a non-elimination episode, which
Right.
don't get me wrong, it makes sense. You know, it's about uplifting each other and making sure we all go out to vote and, you know, all that good stuff. But the same part of me, on the other hand, is why would you have the potion expire on a non elimination episode? So part of me feels like they knew that Q, Dawn, and Plain did bad and they didn't want any of them to go home. So they're like, you know what? We'll make it a non elimination episode.
Right.
Where we easily could have had a bottom two up here.
Right.
There's a clear bottom two that's standing up here. In my opinion, it's
A
Q.
clear bottom three, honestly.
A clear bottom three. And if there had to been a bottom two, I'm going to say Plain's outfit saves her. So Dawn and
Yes.
Q would have been lip syncing. And I don't think they were ready to say goodbye to any of them.
Nope.
So they were like, oh, let's make it a non-elimination episode because it just don't make sense for me for them to plan the episode that the potion expires on to be a non-elimination.
Right.
Like they could not have planned that.
Mm-mm.
Because then what's the point?
Right.
So like I like the idea of this episode being non-elimination because, you know, it makes sense with the theme of the episode. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you don't agree, you don't agree. But just be careful in the comments. I'm known to clap back and
Delete
block.
people.
So, we have our top two of Sophia Christel and Morphine Love Dion. Do you agree with this top two?
Yeah.
I do too. I do too. Now, here's the part where I'm confused again. They lip sync for the win to Made You Look by Meghan Trainor. Now, y'all know I like this song. I don't understand why y'all hate Meghan Trainor. I think she makes some cute little bops.
Right.
But Twitter hates Meghan Trainor. I don't know what it is.
I don't either.
But here's my thing. We have this whole inspirational episode going out to vote, making sure you're registered, and then we hear, I could have my Gucci on. Wait, hold on. You're taking us out of the theme of the episode. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think this would have been a great time to reuse the Living in America James Brown lip sync. Because, you know, they did it with Raja O'Hara, and I believe it was, what was her name? I could see her. She was one that went,
Wasn't it?
uplift you, earn everything. What's that baby's name?
I
Because
don't
she
remember
killed
that
it in
baby
that work
name.
bitch lip sync. I can see her, but I can't remember her name. I'm gonna look it up here in a minute. But yeah, I thought they would possibly reuse that, "Live in America," or just some powerful song to go
Mm-hmm.
with this powerful episode. But no, they pulled up "Made You Look." I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, that's fine. But we could have kept the "You Can Do It" thing going, but that's all right. But what did we
And I
think of this
made you
"Made You
look.
Look" lip sync?
I think it was just like a throwaway lip sync.
I thought it was really cute. It was good to
Yeah, it
see
was
them just
cute.
up there and have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Saphira, baby, especially when she started doing it, I'm like, you better, you better. Oh my goodness! Like they are having a good time, and even I was even impressed with Morphine. It was good to see what she could do when someone's not bothering her every 5 seconds, like Tsunami did. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, this was good. This was a fun lip sync, a good way to end. And oh, the claps. She said on
Oh, and you
Twitter.
could hear those too.
She said on Twitter that she said the House of Love cocktail was just kicking in when she did that. But we find out the winner of this lip sync is Saphira Crystal. Do you agree?
Yes.
I agree as well. And Morphine is safe to slay another day. So we go into the workroom after the non-eliminations. The queens come in, they're sitting down, and they congratulate Saphira on her win.
Mm-hmm.
Morphine is frustrated because she was so close to the top. So I would be too. We're all these
Right.
episodes in, and I'm just getting closer and closer. I'm like, just give me the win. So I felt you, Morphine, in that moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Plain Jane and Nymphia have a little moment where Nymphia thanks her for using the potion, and Dawn basically said what we were all thinking: you should have used it on yourself. And
Ooh.
then Plain Jane was really in her delusion about her being in the bottom last week.
Right. I wasn't.
Now, granted, nobody went home, but you were clearly the bottom, and the production is so messy. She was like, I don't remember RuPaul saying that. They cut right back to the main stage.
Yep.
Baby, I was like, damn, there's like, no, listen, world.
You're gonna see. You cannot blame it on the edit this time.
They were like, listen, world. She was in the bottom. Just want to let y'all know.
Just so we're clear.
She is in the bottom. She was in the
She
bottom,
was in the
okay?
bottom.
And then Don was like, you were the last one called, so you weren't even bottom two. You were bottom one. I was like, Don, you doing a lot of talking for a girl that could have lip synced herself.
Okay? She doing a lot of talking for somebody who ain't won nothing. Has she won anything?
No. Now, if I was judging this season, she would have won something by now. But this is not Desmond's Drag Race.
Exactly.
But I do keep track on how I would judge things, and yeah, she would have had a win by now. But yeah, Plain tried to read Dawn, but those reads were so
Pedestrian.
pedestrian. Thank you, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, these aren't good. Like, she's trying again. You're
But
trying.
the one thing is like Dawn is the person she hasn't really tried to read all season. She has tried to read everybody else except for
Dawn.
Saphira and Dawn.
And she tried, and everybody I'm like, oh, she got her. I'm like, no, she didn't, y'all. No, she
No,
didn't.
not
She
really.
tried. And I love how Dawn was in the confessional saying, I just like pissing off the plane. I'm like, that would have been me, because especially if I was there to see you attack everybody else, the first chance I get to, yeah, it felt good getting her pressed. It felt good.
Mm-hmm.
So they come in the next day, and we have the quietest fight ever between Nymphia and Maya. I'm sitting sitting there and I'm like, ooh, can y'all speak up, please? Can we speak up?
Mm,
I can't hear thee. I can't hear thou. Oh, it was too
mm.
funny. Then
They were
RuPaul
like, we're
walks
gonna need the
in.
subtitles for this one.
Yes, RuPaul walks in, and it's time to spill the tea again. I've noticed
Hey,
because we've done this before. I wonder if this is going to be something we continue to do because this is fun. Maybe the writers'
come
strike was
on,
a
Mick
good thing.
Green.
Maybe the writer's strike was a good thing because obviously it was good because it got the people the money they deserved, but also it made Drag Race do mini challenges again.
Yep.
Because this is the most mini challenges we've done on a main season of Drag Race since like season 6.
Mm.
And I've been loving it. Give us more mini challenges, okay?
More many challenges. More
So,
many
for
challenges.
Spill the Tea, RuPaul's going to ask them a question and they are going to lift the answer on who they think it is. So, the first question was, who is the most aggressive? Lord, my English. And Nymphia apparently is the most passive aggressive.
She is.
Even though Maya and Plain Jane both got 2 votes. So the next question was, who was most likely not to know what passive aggressive means? And most of them vote Morphine.
Morphine voted for herself.
She knew. She's like, I definitely don't know. Oh wait. So the next one is, who are you most likely to block online? Everyone said Plain
But Jane.
Jane. Except for Plain Jane, who said
Who put you?
Q.
Well, you can't block yourself
But
online,
you
so.
can't. But if you, I would have known, everyone would have said to me, so I still would have lifted up mine to get the coins. Because, the majority, whoever has the majority votes, each get $100. So I'm like, I'm trying to get
Right.
$100, so let me put up myself.
Right.
The next question is, who is the flirtiest? And it was unanimous. It was Saphira.
And she was like, oh.
The next question is the gassiest, and it was a mixed bag here, but it went to Dawn mostly.
Right.
Afterwards, it said who is most likely to blame it on the edit, and mostly voted for Morphine. We had a few for one for Nymphia and 2 for Plain. Honestly, my vote would have been Plain.
Mm-hmm.
Plain. And then we have who is most likely to spend their $200,000 wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone voted for Saphira except for Plain Jane, who voted for herself,
Yep. And
and
Q, who
Q, who
voted for
voted for
themselves.
herself. I would say I would hope to win. Like, say if I go on any of these shows and I win a prize, I hope to spend it appropriately. I hope I don't get money in my account and be like, no, Desmond, chill. We gotta remember taxes. Them
Mm-hmm.
bitches. And
Mm.
then,
Be glad Texas has no state tax.
oh goodness, thank you, Jesus. That's one of the few things I'm okay with Texas about. All right, so the next question is, who is most likely to spend their $200,000 on a latex breastplates? And obviously that was Plain Jane, but Plain Jane voted for Saphira. And Saphira
Look, leave
voted
her
for
and her small
Morphine.
chesticles alone.
Which I'm shocked she voted for Morphine. Saphira did. I was like, oh. But yeah, she already wears the big breastplate, so it would make sense for her to buy them. And
Right.
then the next one is the who would give the biggest tip if you performed for them. Saphira was the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then who is the most delusional? Where everyone voted for Plain Jane, except for Plain Jane,
Who put
who
Dawn?
voted for Dawn. If this doesn't fit the delusion that Plain Jane lives in, that
Yes.
was so
But see,
funny.
I've been saying that from the jump.
Oh, that was just so funny to me. Even she was like, "What? Me?"
Me? Me?
Oh, I loved it. But yeah, at the end we found out Saphira had the most money. So she ended up winning in total $3,400. Woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, every queen gets to walk away with however much money they won. So Dawn left with 700, Maya left with 8, Morphine left with 7, Nymphia left with 7, Plain left with 6, and Q left with $700.
Yeah.
At least, like in Dawn's case, she hasn't won a challenge yet. So at least at least she's walking away with some coins.
Right.
And with Morphine too, because she hasn't won a challenge yet. So at least there's something in her pocket.
Hey.
Something. So RuPaul then announces that this week's Maxi Challenge is a drag seminar. They will be doing this in teams. We have the team of
Mm-hmm.
Plain Jane and Q, Dawn and
Mm-hmm.
Maya, and the team of Morphine, Saphira, and Nymphia Wind. How do you think
Yeah.
you would handle? How do you think you would prepare for a drag seminar challenge like this?
I probably would have overthought it. I'm gonna be honest because I overthink my homework.
Listen, I
And so,
overthink everything, but like I think that's like my process because I overthink, and then after I get it all out, I'm like, okay, time to edit. Move this, remove that. Don't need this, don't
right.
need that. I've noticed that's the same thing with writing music. I'll put it all down. I'm like, okay, we're too fast here. Remove this line, move this word.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need this. Cut that
Mm-hmm.
down. So I just have to go through the process of getting it all out my head.
The Elizabeth Taylor method.
Yeah.
You before you walk out the door, take a couple pieces off.
I get it all down on the paper, and then I'm like, okay, all right, we can cut that. Ooh, that didn't translate well. Cut that.
Let's trim the fat,
Let's
shall we?
trim the fat, shall we? So instead of RuPaul doing the walkthrough, we got Michelle doing it. And I find it funny that the same week that they officially announced that Michelle's going to be the host of Drag Race Down Under,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's the week she comes into the workroom to do the walkthrough. I'm like, huh, makes it seem like they planned this.
They probably did.
But yeah, for those who don't know, RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under has been renamed to Drag Race Down Under. Michelle is taking over as the host. And the way they're talking, I think going forward, Michelle's going to be the host. Not just one season. From here on out, Michelle's the host.
Right.
And they said Reese will be returning. And for that third judges spot, it will be Down Under Queens from the first 3 seasons will come in and be guest judges.
Hey.
And then, of course, you have your special guest celebrity that's going to be there as well. But yeah, I'm excited to see Michelle do the thing. Do the thing, do the thing.
Mhm.
We are joined by our special guest judge, Joel Kim Booster. And they come through and they're doing the walkthrough, helping the queens get their seminars together.
Mhm.
I am a big fan of Joel Kim. I'm not sure about you, but I can
I,
speak.
I didn't know who he was before this episode. I'm not even gonna lie.
I was. You know I love stand up comedy.
You're right.
I love it. Like that is like a stress reliever for me. Turn on a good comedy special, and it's a good way to shut my brain off. Let me just listen to you and laugh at your jokes. You know what I'm saying?
Uh huh.
So, I remember once we were stranded in Corsicana, um, at work. We were on a trip. The van broke.
Oh no.
Everybody
I
else,
thought I was in Waco recently, and I thought I saw the van at the mall.
you probably did. Um, Everyone else was freaking out. You know what I was doing? On my phone with my headphones in, watching stand up comedy, laughing, having a great time. They're like, "Why are you so calm?" I'm like, "Listen, at the end of the day, we're not truly stranded here. Either we're eventually
Right.
gonna make it back, or somebody's gonna come get us. We are with a good group of guys. They're calm.
Mm,
I'm calm. Y'all need to be calm because if y'all keep getting
right.
antsy, they gonna get antsy."
Exactly.
And they refused to sit still. It took us forever to get back to the job, but we got back there. But the van kept breaking down like every, mile. It wouldn't let us go far before he had to pull over, get it back to running, and keep going again.
Mhm.
He's like, "I'm not going to sit here and wait." I'm like, "Okay, well then, take us 2 hours to get home when it initially takes like 25 minutes. You do that. I'm going to sit here with my headphones in listening to my stand up comedy, which one of the comedies I was listening to was his. So,
Hey.
and plus, he wrote the movie Fire Island. If you haven't seen it, go watch it on Hulu. It's an amazing movie. I love it. It was so funny, heartwarming, all that. So I love Joel. Welcome to the show. So now let's get to this main stage. Again, I don't know what Zaldi was on for these 2 episodes here, but he needs to stay on it because this is amazing. I love every piece, every smidget, every vessel of this outfit.
This outfit, I would have believed the sweatpants thing.
Because I know I would
For
have
this
believed it.
outfit alone, I would have believed the
I would
sweatpants
have put
thing.
them
The
on
rest
after
of them,
this
I'm like,
too.
that's a little comfortable. This one, I believe that bottom part came off. So I was like, there is no way RuPaul sat with that hoop skirt on. I said, yeah, there was a skirt for this, or there was some sweatpants for that, because that looks so heavy.
Yeah. But she looks so great. I love it. I wouldn't change nothing about it. She gets an A+
And
from
then
me.
there was like a mint green theme. I'm assuming because St. Patrick's Day is coming up because she wore mint green for the mini challenge, and then she wore mint green on stage.
But what did you think of this A+ look?
It was a good look. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
What do you give the look?
I give it an A.
Okay. 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 So we were joined by
There's a
Michelle
hater in the
Visage.
room.
We're joined by Michelle Visage. And doesn't this give I'm not like the other moms. I'm a cool mom.
I was gonna say it looks like a juicy velour jumpsuit.
It gives very much that. I'm not sure if it's on my mind because I recently watched the Mean Girls musical. If y'all haven't watched it yet and have Paramount Plus, go watch it. It's great. But yeah, so we're also joined by Ross Matthews again and our special guest judge Joel Kim Booster. So let's
Yes, I
get
love his jacket, man.
come the shoulder cut out. Like, come
Yes,
on.
with the suspenders.
I need one of these. You won't be able to tell me nothing. You will
Okay.
tell me not a damn thing. Like, but let's go ahead and get into these drag seminars. First, we had Q and Plain Jane. What did you think of their drag seminar?
They were funny.
They were listen. I was sold when they were like, okay, we would like to present you these slides, and it's some pictures of a slide.
It
And
is
then
literally
and then
pictures of
Q's like, and
slide.
then we also have clips. Boom, pictures of
Boom.
clips. Oh, that got
Paper
me.
clips, hair clips.
That got me. Overall, I think they both did a really good job. I don't know
Mm.
what Q got on,
Oh, yeah.
but I thought they were both funny. Oh, it when Plain Jane said, "I am Doctor Plain Jane, MD."
Indeed.
Oh, I almost fell off my couch. Not MD. Oh, I thought this was really good, really fun. They did good. Up next, we have Dawn and Maya Iman LePage.
Ooh, Lord. This was a hot mess.
Dawn tried,
Dawn tried
but
really
Maya
hard.
was
She got a couple
struggling
chuckles out
so
of me.
bad. Maya was struggling so bad that Dawn was just like, "I'm trying here.
Hmm.
I'm trying," and she tried her best. But poor Maya, she never could really just get into the groove of this performance. And then last but definitely not least, we have Sophia Cristal, Nymphia Wynn, and Morphine Love Dion.
Hmm.
I thought they all did a really good job. Even with Morphine's stumbling and
Couple
even
of slips.
Sophia's little stumble there in the middle.
Right.
I thought they did a really good job here. What did you think of their seminar?
I thought they did a pretty decent job. Um, the only thing I didn't have a problem with any of it. I had a problem with what the judges had a problem with.
What did the judges have a problem with? That
They had a problem with um Nymphia doing the accent. And they were like, we felt kind of wrong for laughing at it. I'm like, you're making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be.
I'm gonna say, I think because she is an Asian queen, I feel like she can do that.
Exactly. For
Because
me,
to me, it doesn't make any difference. Like a Southern person like me, putting on a heavy Southern accent, but because I'm Southern, it's okay.
right. For me, I was like, she could do it and get away with it because she's Asian.
She can
So
do
it
it.
makes sense.
Now, if
She
Morphine
can
was
do it.
doing it, then there's the problem.
Exactly. Nymphia can do it, and because Nymphia is the one doing it, and they happen to be of Asian descent, that gives me permission to laugh at it.
But also,
I
I wanted to
cannot.
make sure that it was also Nymphia's idea to do it. Because
Exactly.
then that's when I'll be like, okay, that's kind of wrong if they're pushing her to do this accent and she don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, I personally
And
didn't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it either. I just had a problem with the judges having a problem with it because it wasn't racist till you made it racist.
Because we've had way worse than her accent on this show. Now, granted, the show has grown and evolved, and they want to grow and evolve with time, so I
Right.
completely
And I
understand.
understand wanting to be woke, but there is levels to it. And there's a finesse to it, and you cannot sit here and be like, well, I was uncomfortable. I understand you are a cisgendered white woman, a cisgendered white man, and or even a queer white man, but you're uncomfortable with an Asian doing an Asian accent, you're being racist. That's what makes it racist, is because you're pointing out the fact that it could be a racist problem. Oh, well, I was uncomfortable. That's you being uncomfortable. But me being black and putting on a ghetto accent is not me being stereotypical. It's me giving you permission to laugh at the stereotypical thing.
The only
Is
time it
that my
becomes
personality? Is
stereotypical
that
is
who
if
I
you're
am?
on a
No.
team with white people and they're like, oh, do the ghetto accent. That's where the
That
problem lies. And
exactly.
I guess it's that thin line, and they just don't want to be nowhere near that thin line. And I get it. I get it.
Right.
But she gave us permission to come in and laugh at it. And I guess because I come from as mentioned earlier, I love my stand up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people make fun of themselves.
Exactly.
I make fun of myself.
Exactly.
But yeah,
And my
overall, I
thing
thought they did a
is
good
like,
job.
they didn't have a problem with other Asian queens doing Asian accents for Snatch Game,
Well,
even
I
if
think that's
that
a
was the
different beast.
character.
I think that's a different beast because if they're doing an Asian character that has the Asian accent,
Right.
then that comes with the doing the
The
characterization
territory.
of the
But
character.
this was a character that Nymphia created, and that character just so happens to have this accent. So the fact that they pointed it out was really disappointing to me. It's just me.
Oh no,
You can disagree.
I don't disagree with you. So the category this week is flashback, DragCon 1980. What would you do with basically an 80s look that you had to bring?
An 80s look that I would have had to bring. So my thing is it sorry. Um I would have did the Love Shack look from RuPaul.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I was gonna do a look from the 1980s, that's what I would have did, because that's what a lot of people do. At least from what we experienced at DragCon, there were a lot of people that were doing like drag cosplay at DragCon. And so I'm like, oh well, heck, that's what I would have did. I'd have just dressed up like one of the queens. That's what I want to do this year. I just haven't picked my looks yet.
I haven't even. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear just yet. But for me, for the DragCon 1980s, my first thought was like that typical 80s look that like Saphira did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would have went more of the glam rock 1980s look.
But just like Jim.
Yes. Yes. I think that would have been
Again,
my
aging myself because I was alive when those were original episodes.
oh I was not.
Jim, G.I. Joe, Care Bears. What else did I used to watch? Tales from the Crypt was like favorite. As much as I hate scary movies, Tales from the Crypt, the cartoon, was like amazing. I think just because I knew it was fake. Tales from the Crypt and the Twilight Zone.
But yeah, let's get into these. Look, just like before, we're gonna go through them relatively fast because we're already past the time limit we normally allow for these. But that's okay. Let's get into it. Plain Jane, this is a solid B for me. I like this.
Yeah, very 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give it a good B. I have a problem with the pants.
Yeah, and the length of them. They either need to
That's
be
what I was getting
they
to.
either
Is the
need to
length
be
of the
a
pants.
little bit shorter or a little bit longer.
Right.
They're in a weird angle.
They had ankle pants in the 80s.
Yeah. So with Q, I would give this an A minus. I really like this. I love the message behind this. Also,
Mm-hmm.
Q, thank you for sharing your story this episode. Because y'all watched the episode, you know, she shared her HIV status. And
And we haven't had a storyline like that in a while.
yeah, you know, I always applaud the queens who come on here and share their stories like that because they don't have to. She could have
Mm-hmm.
just came on and walked out, but she's like, no, I want to share to the world. And, you know, it just still irritates me that people still dehumanize those who are HIV positive.
Right.
With all the information and all the knowledge we have at our fingertips,
Mm-hmm.
and most of us at our big ass ages
Yeah.
are still finding a way to discriminate even within our community. And I don't like
Right.
that. I don't like that one bit.
I don't know. The funny thing is you would think that the most evolved people would be the people who have lived the longest. And it's ironic that the people who are the most stubborn are the people who have lived the longest. Again, flashing back to, the whole voting situation earlier in the episode, evolve your ideas. If you wanted something, you fought for it. We wanted freedom from oppression. We wanted freedom from, you know, communism and socialism. And so we went across the world and we fought for it. We fought against it. Why the heck are you going to condemn us now?
Here's my biggest thing. They told us and the generation before us that we could be anything when we grow up.
Exactly.
So when we grew up and became what we wanted to be, they're like, whoa, 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 this ain't what we were talking about.
Exactly.
No.
But you took opportunities away from us. Instead of whose idea was it to take the general workforce tasks out of school? Home ec and
I
workshop
don't know
and
because I want to say my class was like the last one to have it. Because I want to say as we were passing through, they were taking those things out.
right. And I'm like, what point was that? I mean, we still have need for those professions. Not everybody can be a doctor. Not everybody can be an engineer. Not everybody can be. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can be whatever you set your mind
Be
to.
who you
You
are
be
for
who
your
you are. For you.
pride. Sorry. Rest in peace, honey. I found out that lady passed recently. Rest in peace.
Aw. But, it's like you are taking those opportunities away from us and then you want to profit off of them. Oh, yeah, here's this job readiness college over here that we're going to make you take student loans out for and charge you up the wazoo for
Mm.
when it used to be offered for free. Where did you come from?
Still
Um,
need to pay. I'm still paying on mine. I hate it. I ain't even finished, and I'm
look,
sitting here paying on them. I hate it.
I had to do an exit interview for mine, and my total is $30,000.
Part of me wants to stick around to my job where I am until the 10-year mark
Mm-hmm.
because there is a forgiveness that comes with working for the state for 10 years. Because I don't owe much compared to what everybody else owes. Baby, it's like a drop in the pan compared to what other people owe. So I'm like,
Mm,
with my 10 years of state, hopefully it will be enough for them to forgive all of it.
mm.
Hopefully.
Well, heck, I wish I had one. I wish that was something I would have known, but I sincerely doubt that that would account for me, considering the fact that all of the benefits that come with being at that job for 10 years I did not get when I left.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, it's because and I'm like, "But my 10 years was up in September."
And from my understanding, even having conversations now, once you hit that 10 years, it's supposed to be guaranteed. Like you're locked in, as they say.
Right. And I'm like, so when I left 4 months later, like, "Oh, you weren't there long enough." "What do you mean I wasn't there long enough? I was there for 10 years." "Well, you were only there for 10 years and 3 months." "Okay, I was there for 10 years and 3 months. How long did I need to be there in order for all of my benefits to come in?"
But yes, honey, let's
So,
get back to these looks. I give this a good. What did I say? A minus. I think I said A minus.
yeah, A minus, B plus.
Up next is Dawn.
I did not enjoy this.
It's a no for me, dog.
I didn't enjoy this at all. And at first, I was just like, this does not look even remotely 80s to me.
And RuPaul says she got the reference of this, and I'm like, you did?
But then I think about some of like the movies that I have seen from the 80s that I wasn't old enough at the time to
Mm-hmm.
watch, but in my later years I was. I don't want to hear it,
I'm
Desmond.
not gonna say anything about you being 70.
That's just the running joke. Um, but like I said earlier, the pants got me. I didn't enjoy the pants. It seems like you gave us the same look 3 weeks in a row, or at least 2 weeks in a row, but three different looks that was the
It's the
exact
same
same look.
silhouette.
Huh?
Like it's a different look, but it's the same silhouette.
Right. And chappy pants. Normally I don't
And you
mind
know how I
them.
feel about
Normally
chaps.
it's you hating them. But I did not enjoy it this time around.
All right, let's move onwards. Oh wait, we never gave the score.
Well, considering the fact that you were like, "It's a no for me, dog," and I just sat here and listed all of my complaints, we can safely say it's in the DF range.
F.
There you go. Moving on.
You need to say yours. What is it?
D for me.
Okay. All right, so let's move onwards to my email on the page. This is a C. Knowing the reference that she got this from made it a little bit easier, but I
What
still
reference did
it's
she
fine.
get it from?
Around this time last year, there was these TikTok, not TikToks. It was on TikTok. Somebody got AI images of what RuPaul's Drag Race would look like if it aired in 1980. In 1980, and there was a queen who wore this exact outfit on there.
Uh,
So like I caught the reference as soon as she walked out. But it's okay. It's a C. What do you think?
uh, I see it. Um, I think she should have been cinched. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Michelle did say that. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I gave it a C. What did you give it?
C minus.
Up next is Saphira Cristal. This was so cute. I give it a B plus.
Yeah, I thought it was adorable. I loved it so much. This would have been me in the 80s.
That was
I
you in
actually
the
think
80s.
I had a dress like this, but it was later 80s.
It was her in the 80s. Y'all, she was like 20 in the 80s.
Which you in the face? I was not 20 in the 80s. I was
But yes,
literally.
what is your grade?
Oh, this is an A plus for me.
Oh. Up next is Morphine Love Dion. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, that was a no for me.
I'm gonna have to give this an F. The face looks great, but everything else is it's a no. So I'm gonna have to say F.
Right.
And then up next is Nymphia Wind. I knew the reference as soon as she walked out.
Mm.
I love this so much. This is an A plus for me. What did you think?
Oh, this is a definite A plus for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we have all these queens here. Who had your favorite look this week?
Rare. Saphira.
For me, it was Nymphia Wind. So
Oh
RuPaul
yeah.
says that famous line that I just love so much. Although you worked as teams, tonight you will be judged as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
No, judge them in teams. Because if we were judging in teams, either Q or Plain should have won or give it to both of
Ooh.
them. And that the bottom two would have been Dawn and Maya. Real simp. Real simp here, okay? But that's not how
Mm.
it went down. We found out that the winner was Saphira Cristal. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I do not.
Mm-hmm.
It was that stumble in the middle of her performance. And yes, she did come back at the end. But you had two queens who knocked it out the park. They didn't stumble. All their
Right.
jokes landed. And I do agree that Saphira should have been in the top. I'm like, yeah, she did great this week, but I don't think I would have gave her this win here. But
Mm.
granted, if I was judging, she would already have like 4 wins at this point. So her not getting this one in my head would have been okay. So Q was pressed. Look at that face. Look cracked.
Okay. Talk about face crack of the season. As
Cracked.
soon as her face dropped, I was like, "You ungrateful."
Oh, I would have been cracked too. I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all, maybe I would have been there. Y'all thought that face crack Jan did in season 12 was bad, baby. I
Mm-hmm.
I would have hit RuPaul. I would have hit RuPaul one of these. You sure?
You positive?
Yeah. You don't want to announce like 2 winners this week? Just one? Oh,
Just two?
okay. All right. I mean, I am up here.
Mm.
Very much. What was it, Raj on All Star 7?
Mm.
She was like, I can stay up here. That tickled me. Oh my goodness. But we find out the bottom two was Morphine Love Dion and my Iman LePage. And they lip sync to Dim All the Lights by Donna Summer. When I tell you I ain't heard this song in forever,
Mm.
I was like, ooh, they pulled out an old Donna Summer song. Now, granted,
Oh,
all of her songs are
no.
old. But I was sitting there and I was really trying to think, when's the last time I heard this? And honestly, I think it was when I used to go to the clubs. I really think it
Mm.
was. But what did we think of this lip sync?
Mm. It was cute.
This was a really good lip sync. I really liked it. And when Maya threw, when she threw the back of her little skirt dress thing onto Morphine,
Mm-hmm.
I loved it so much. A lot of people online were talking about, oh, that was him, baby. Hush. Hush. Be, sometimes I be forgetting y'all are not from the ballroom scene, or y'all have never been to a ball. Hell, you probably
Mm-hmm.
didn't even watch Legendary, because they did shit like this all the time on Legendary.
You're right.
So it was just like, it was harmless, it was cute, it was fun. Maya threw her titties at, not Maya, Morphine threw her titties at her. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really thought this was a good lip sync. One of my favorites. But one of my favorites. Um, my only thing is, I love how Morphine was making fun of Maya in the lip sync. When she was doing her
Mm-hmm.
tricks, Morphine was like, yawn. I'm like, yeah. But to me, I love the flips, but it didn't really fit this song. I will say that.
No,
It didn't really
they
fit it.
didn't.
Now, this split that Morphine took forever to hit, I love that. I love that. You know the strength you gotta have to hold this?
Okay.
And for as long as she held it,
Mm-hmm. Like she held it to the point where it was unfunny, and then it was funny again.
I believe it was Don who said that, and I'm like, I agree, because at first I was like, all right, let's get to it, let's get this done. But yeah, after all was said and done, Morphine Love Dion was announced the winner. Do you agree with her winning this lip sync?
Yeah, mostly because I had said this to myself before watching the episode. I was like, it's giving Abby, oh my god. It's giving Abby, oh my god, and it's giving a little taste.
But I
Because
will say
it's
this: I
like,
do think she legit lost this lip sync.
yeah.
I think Miss Morphine came through and gave what needed to be given, which means we
Mm-hmm.
must say goodbye to Maya Iman LePage. She left her
Belch.
message, and then they danced on the stage like they didn't just crush somebody's dream. And we
I
find
think this is where I got pissed off with you. I mean, but you said, like, yeah, if I was, upset, then I'd have acted that way too. But she was just up there like,
oh baby, you wouldn't have got any dance for me. I would have just walked in and the stage just kind of stood there, kind of like what Miss Fierce Delicious did at the end when she
mm-hmm,
just kind of stood there. That would have been me. That would have been me. But we find
mm,
out next week they're going to be doing a makeover for bathrooms. They're going to
mm,
design very similar to the club challenge they did on All Stars 4 and the hotel challenge they did on All Stars 5.
mm-hmm,
Very much that. So I always enjoy these type of challenges, so I am excited to see it.
mm-hmm.
But honey, that's all we got. That's all we got, and we
Ooh,
we made it through, honey. Is
yes.
there anything you want
If
to
you
add
are
about these
still
two
here, thank you
episodes?
so much for watching the whole episode.
Yes,
Have a
thank you.
cookie.
Yes,
Put a
and
cook put a cookie in the
if you
comments down
made it this
below.
far,
If
put a
you made
cookie
it
in
this
the
far, put a
comments.
cookie in the comments below. I will personally come and check.
So let's go ahead and wrap it up here, honey. Where can they find you on the medias that are social?
You can find me at Christian McGill. That's CRESHAMCGILL on all social media.
And you can find me in the club, pocket full of bud, mama. But if I'm not there, you can find me on all social media platforms at Simply Desmond. That's SIMPLYDESMOND. Thank you so much for spending a piece of your day with us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.